Monday, fuck off. Monday, June 8th, 2020. Still have that instinct to say it doesn't matter what day it is, but it still does matter what day it is. It's Monday. Today is Monday. All right, so this is not a stand-up comedy one. This is going to lean more into the apocalyptic bunker one. I'm just curious. Nobody ever emails in. Nobody will email in. There's 20 of you, and all 20 of you are shy and you're pussies. But fuck was I gonna say? What was I saying? Oh yeah, this is one of those bunker episodes where you like reminisce about the past. I decided, so I'm hanging out with a person that I care about, and we were talking. Okay. First off, apparently all of the episodes are on Podbean, but we don't have all of the episodes on YouTube. So you could, so if you really want to go all the way back to the beginning, here we are. But I was listening to the first episode, or technically the second episode. I don't know why. First one isn't up there, but I was listening to the first episode that's up there, and it was super weird. It was weird because like the world is completely different now, and it changed very quickly. Like this was I think I recorded in 2000. What did I do? Yeah, you're going to definitely have to go on Podbean for this. January 31st, 2019. January 31st, 2019. And then the very first one we put up was Aaron and Alec Argue, April 14th, 2018. That's so crazy. There we go. That's so crazy. I was listening to myself talk, and I was like, Jesus, you fucking unconfident little bitch. Can you say the thing? Like, it was interesting listening. And it's weird because it is, I'd say with everything that's happened with the quarantine, and then the murder hornets, and then the Tiger Kings, and then the George Floyd, and then George Floyd. I would say it's like it's never ever gonna be the same, and not even probably actually. All this shit's happening because it shouldn't be, but it's still weird. I would say the weirdest part is what is the weirdest part? Was it the Bible photo op? Was that the weirdest part? No. Okay, I know the weirdest part. The weirdest part is also the saddest part. The weirdest part is also the saddest part. I would say that the weirdest part, I figured it out. The weirdest part is that people are listening now. That's the weirdest part. Yeah. When I did street stand up before all of this, so when I did it, when everything was, because I'm gonna just call it the before time. So when I did street stand up in the before time, it felt different. It definitely felt lighter, and less people listened. Yes, yep, that's the difference. Less people listened. Less people listened, and then quarantine happened, and then people paid attention. People really enjoyed paying attention during quarantine. Like when we were in full-fledged quarantine, and it was like the inklings of people coming out, like the Brave were coming out, stepping first into the light out of the caves and going out to bars and shit and just kind of walking around. And people were paying attention. Like more people wanted to hang out because they were bored, and this was the first time they had seen any sort of live entertainment in like 2 months. Like 2 months. Oh shit! I have the Obama thing, huh? That like that trail. that weird trail off. Oh man. Wow. Well, I'm not gonna be able to ignore that anymore. Fuck. Right. People coming out of their caves. Not too much, whatever. So when they were listening, they were paying attention. Like I really had people's attention when they came out, and then now people are listening. Like people are sitting for long stretches of time, and they're really taking in what I'm saying, even if I'm not like it's always been fine when I don't act funny or whatever, when I'm not being jokey. Certain type of people leave, but certain type of people stay and they want to listen. And I'm still working on doing that, like making things not jokey and then bringing it back up. And it takes me a while sometimes. Sometimes I forget to do it, but, it's a learning process or whatever. But, what was I saying? Shit. Yeah, people are listening. And it's weird. It's super weird. If I already did this metaphor, I've already said this metaphor, I apologize, Mel. I'll say it again. Hold on a second. All right, I have this metaphor. I've said it on the street, but I think it's a pretty apt metaphor. So, like being a kid, you're in your bed and you're like a little kid, like really little kid, like Monsters Inc. little kid, and there's a monster under your bed and it scratches you, and it like hurts and it's scary and it's awful and it's traumatic or whatever, and then you call out for your parents. In this metaphor, I don't know if am I being poetic right now? Am I poetic? But America's my parents. All right, America's my parents, and I'm like, help, my parents, and then my parents come in, and they don't believe me. Understandably so. They don't believe me. Why the fuck would a monster come and scratch my child? Monsters don't exist. I'm an adult. I'm America. I'm an adult. And then, but the kid doesn't really have clear scars at that point. Like nothing crazy's happened. The monster, if Sully? No, the big bear. The big bear. He's like a goat bear, man. He's blue. The big bear. The big fucking bear guy. What is it? Bear Jew. You know? Fuck, what is... Hold on a second. Hold on. Yeah, Sully. Okay. Everyone's just trying to confuse me. Everyone's just out to get me. This is all a conspiracy. This is bullshit. This is all conspiracy. This is lies and slander. You dare slander my name after all I've done for you? For what I've done for this city? Talking about completely inappropriate sexual topics on the street. And if anyone ever thought that I was like regal, this is why I would never call myself an actor, because I'm not good enough for that. Like I'm not, you know what I mean? Like you have to like wear glasses. I don't know, and you're usually well put together. Like you say important shit. I don't know. I just said ridiculous shit. But what was I? Fuck, was I even talking about? No, yeah, metaphor. All right, so the big bear. I'm not calling him. I'm not calling him by his name anymore. He's the big bear. All right, so the big bear. If the big bear scratched too hard, he'd hurt the kid to the point that something would be noticeable. So it's not too bad because it's a kid. Then you get older, and you're living in the same exact room, in the same exact bed every single night when you wake up. And the monster, as you get older, the monster scratches you harder, but you're older. So when your parents, America, for those of you who could tell my metaphor that I'm so eloquently creating. So when your parents come in to check on you, you are older now, so having bigger scrapes doesn't really matter all that much. Yeah, of course you're gonna have scabs. You're a teenager now. It's fine. Of course. Teenager, you're supposed to be angsty. And this monster is doing this. Like, it's every single night. Every time you go to sleep, this monster is just taking chunks out of you. And then you got to remember, like, as you get older, and the idea of the monster is supposed to go away. And a lot of, like, this metaphor is going to fall to pieces. Let me see if I can. No, let me see if I can stick the landing on this. I really do this on the fly. So just let me see if I can stick the landing on this metaphor. But when you get older, so when you get older, the idea of monsters under your bed shouldn't exist anymore. In the same way, for a kid who's been told over and over again that monsters are not under your bed, eventually that kid is gonna get to a place where they're like, I guess monsters aren't under. Obviously, monsters are not under my bed. Obviously, it's always done like it's so obvious. Like, obviously, when I was an entire kid, like, obviously, monsters are not under your bed. Monsters are not real. Like, anytime I would complain about the police, usually when I was like, especially when I was like middle school, because I was also a douchebag. Let's not paint me out to be some angel here. I was a middle school kid. I was still like a punk, of course, and stupid and loud and arrogant and annoying and obnoxious. I was all of those things, but I was no criminal. I was no violent offender, and I shouldn't be treated as such. And so when shit like that's happening over and over and over again, and you're told you're told so obviously, it's like, well, Aaron, that's silly. The police are the good guys. It's done so. There's such a Leave It to Beaver black and white tone to it. Just so jolly. So like I'm being ridiculous. Oh, just stop it. It's not like your parents come in and like, hey, shut the fuck up. That's a trailer thing. If you grew up in a trailer, maybe. But I grew up in a house, 2 stories. Yeah. Yeah, take that, Middle America. No, but I grew up in a house, and when my mom would come in, now this metaphor is getting weird. When my America parents would come in, the reaction wouldn't be anger or aggression. It would be like I was just being silly. Like I was just being ridiculous. Monsters aren't real. And then you turn into a teenager, and then this metaphor falls apart, obviously, because as a teenager, you'd probably say something, but just go with me here regardless. So then you get older, and the monster continues to do this, and for whatever reason, you're in the bed for 29 years. Just fuck you. Yes, I know it's a bad metaphor. I made it up on the... Oh, shut up. Yes, it's a sloppily put together podcast. No, I don't have a pop screen. Yes, it's recorded on my phone whenever I feel like doing it. Yes, I usually make French fries while I do it. Can we all just fucking... And yes, there are flies in this fucking garage. What was I saying? Well, hold on a second. Oh, okay, yeah, metaphor. So for whatever reason, you're an idiot and you stay in your bed your entire life, and this monster keeps this is such a dumb metaphor. This is such a dumb metaphor now. But you're in this bed, and this monster is just tearing at you every day, and it gets stronger and more aggressive the older you get. And your parents keep saying to, and everybody, even if you told your friends keep saying that's fucking ridiculous. Everyone says ridiculous. And then until one day, all of a sudden, everyone's home at one time, and we're all awake because sleep doesn't matter during the pandemic. It doesn't. People were staying up late as fuck and going to sleep whenever the fuck they felt like it. People would sleep all day. One day, everybody was in the house at the exact same time, and it didn't matter what day it was, and the monster came out and started rampaging all over the rest of the house. And everyone was fucking shocked, and everyone was like, but monsters aren't real. This can't be. How is this possible? But that officer was getting really aggressive with someone that cursed at him. Yes, he cursed, and that is not okay. That's very aggressive, and that doesn't change people's minds. But violence is not the answer. This is just inappropriate. People are shocked. People have lost their fucking minds over this. And I'm not going to speak for all black people, but I'm going to speak for all black people. No, I'm going to just speak for myself, genuinely. I'm just going to speak for myself. I'm not surprised. When I see all this stuff, I'm surprised that other people are seeing it, and I guess not surprised that they're surprised, but I'm surprised that other people are seeing it, and I'm surprised that it's happening in my lifetime. I actually never thought that anything crazy like this, that there would be any sort of reform. You repeat the same shit just because you're a stubborn asshole, but you never really think anything's going to come of it. You're just like, this is just my experience, and I'm a comedian, and I'm just going to talk about this. Is what else would I talk about? Obviously, I want to talk about this. And then all of a sudden, the monster is running through your house because everyone stayed home and paid attention. And you don't want your house to get burnt down. Nobody wants their house to get burnt down. Everyone lives here. Obviously, I don't want my fucking room to get destroyed. Nobody does. But for me personally, I'm like, yeah, bitch. Look at this look at the monster ruin Mom's lamp. Oh, your china break, Mom? Oh, I'm sorry. Remember when I was like, hey, the monster's fucking tearing me apart, and nobody listened, nobody paid attention? So, no, I don't want my fucking house to burn down. Obviously, I live here. But at the same time, the monster has been attacking me my whole life. I'm loud and obnoxious, as everyone would agree. You can fucking hate me all you want. You can dislike me. You can think my podcast is stupid, and you can think I'm crazy, obnoxious, or I just want attention. I don't give a shit. If one thing we can all agree on, I'm loud and obnoxious. So I've talked about this, and people know I've talked about this because I've been fucking vocal about it. Even when quarantine started, I was talking about walking around the rich neighborhood and the way I would get looked at, and the way people would treat me, and getting scared away by that, or getting really terrified by that lady who came outside, and being scared of the police when they drive by, and bringing it up. I brought it up all the time. So I don't understand. I understand why people are surprised. Who would have ever thought there was a monster actually under our beds? Who would have thought? But now that it's very evident that the monster exists, we seem to be, I was saying this earlier and trying to be positive, we seem to be doing something about it. I know people are starting to try to defund and do political shit that I don't know about that is going to be helpful, which is appreciated. It's definitely appreciated and it's definitely helpful. It's you subduing the monster. I'm going to continue this metaphor until it is beaten into everybody's head. But it's still so fucking annoying. There's even sometimes, if I'm being perfectly honest, there's sometimes when I'm on the street, because I'll repeat some of the same stories, because of course I will. I'm only one person, I only have so many stories. But I'll repeat some of the same stories, and I've repeated them enough to where I've gotten used to it, and I'm like, yes, of course this happened. Like I had to force myself to really dig and make sure that I'm remembering things as correctly as I can and as hopefully as unbiasedly as I can. I'm sure I have a sense of bias, but sometimes I get annoyed when people react in shock and not laughter. Mostly because I want people to laugh, and I'm not good at it. No, sometimes there's something annoying about people reacting in shock, in that I don't know why they're shocked. Because I've said these stories so many times, like my entire life. Same stories I have said over and over again. And now people are really taking it seriously, and it feels amazing. And it also feels frustrating. It feels sad. It's a lot of crazy emotions. I'm tired. All right. If there's one person that you think would enjoy this, share this with them. And, maybe somebody will get what I'm saying. Email thebuddiesystem@gmail.com. BuddySystemCo. The Buddy System, C as in cat, O as in orange, @gmail.com. If you want to say your piece, I'll read it. Even if you say mean things, I'll probably read it. I need attention.